So we just had Tico Talks for August, and this brings a lot of important information, particularly with regards to resources required for Tier 3. How much hoarding is going to pay off. He went over a ton of new things in this video, and I'll break it down in short. He initially expresses how this update is going to be massive, like bigger than people really realize. It will be called Silesium's Awakening. Again, September the 18th. New orb weapon, hyper boost, housing, trial revamp, battlegrounds, 2 co-op dungeons, enhanced versions of Tier 1 field bosses, and Tier 3 gear. All of this we've known already, but now he adds in a new achievement system, a new growth guide, new rune levels to 120. Currently the max is 90. This will also come with a new grade, meaning probably legendary runes, but we'll be getting castle siege map layout changes, 4 new codex entries, most likely Adventure Codex, additional weapon mastery passive skills. These are the ones listed just here, the overall mastery skills. There'll be a complete main menu overhaul, 3 new guardians, plus a load of quality of life. But then he gives a bunch of new info with regards to Tier 3 gear, the materials required, and whether or not hoarding's going to really pay off. We can see it will have the same recipe as the current growth stones, however it will use a new polished crystal, and that polished crystal will not drop from dungeon mini bosses, so you won't be infinitely farming them. But it means it's very likely we will still be able to make use of our ores and the precious powder. But the crystals, you will need entirely new ones. They have confirmed you will be able to transfer your current Tier 2 gear to the Tier 3 gear, and that will bring them to +6. We don't know if it will be like level 15 on Tier 3 gear. With this transfer rate, it will probably still be level 12. We will still be able to use the blessing system, so yes, you can still hoard traits to then be able to upgrade traits on Tier 3 gear much cheaper. They are, however, going to reduce the amount of valuable traits, the good ones, on lower tier gear drops, meaning the areas where you get a ton of gear, they may not give max health, skill damage boost, buff duration as often as the other traits. But on the flip side, the higher tier gear will have a higher chance to give those more valuable traits. Now as for trait resonance, we will simply get an entirely new stone, but we'll be getting the new fragments from the updated material transmutation after the update drops. As for other materials like conversion stones and unlock stones, these will be able to be traded for the new versions but at a limit. We don't know the exact limit, but it's unlikely to be very high. If you have more than that limit, you'll be able to just convert it to solent. So yes, if you have thousands of unlock stones, it's very unlikely you'll be able to convert much of them to the new version that will probably be required for Tier 3 gear. So again, having spent them on your current gear or on legendary gear will most likely have been still pretty valuable. And they're changing it up a bit, so co-op dungeons, solo dungeons, you'll always get either Tier 3 gear or Tier 3 tokens. No longer will you get like lower tiers of gear. That's great, but it also gives a chance that you don't get any gear, you simply get currency instead. It's like gaining extra loyalty coins rather than my Tier 2 piece of equipment. Now he also brought some confirmation for arch boss weapons. Later in October, yes, we'll be able to upgrade Cordy and Della's Noah to Tier 3, while Tevent and Belandir will not be doing so, but will get a little bit of a buff. That's great, so you won't have to spend any extra resources to improve them beyond what we already have just done with these ascended versions. But they also confirm that when a new set of archboss weapons does arrive, Tevent and Belandir will most likely be at the end of their cycle. Of course, you'll probably make use of some of the unique benefits like those skill cores as you were pointing out. You can still put them on heroic weapons. The orb weapon will have a heroic weapon immediately, so a legendary weapon that you can purchase. You could save those entropy shards. And he does reveal first bit of gameplay here, placing down those 3 orbs using an ability, and you can see all the projectiles shooting from where you place those orbs. And that's how they said these orbs are going to require quite a bit of placement and tactical play of just where you have positioned those orbs, particularly for PvP. If I play this clip again, you can see he's teleporting to each of the orbs that he's placed down. But yes, we need a ton more info. Hyper Boost. It will help both new and existing players. There will be new servers that you can create a new character on, but they will be isolated from the other servers for the first few months. Some of you did bring up a pretty good question about Lucent. Will you be able to carry over Lucent from your main character to your Hyper Boost character? Don't know yet. There are no plans to add a third character slot for now. Just be aware you can switch region and you can create additional 2 characters for every single region. You just have to suffer from a little bit more server delay based on your distance between yourself and the server. The Adventure Codex will grant a full plus 12 tier 2 gear with some traits, which you will then be able to transfer to tier 3 and get plus 6. So that's going to be the main way Hyper Boost is going to boost you. So if you've already completed the Adventure Codex, you will miss out a bit on that. However, there will be a new growth mission, which will be the primary source for additional mastery, skills, and rune levels. The goal is to get most people to 6,000 to 6,500 combat power. The new servers will have a milestone system, so they won't unlock all the new content immediately. Tier 3 will come in about a week, while Raid and Siege will unlock about 4 weeks later. Then here we get a quick look at the new Battlegrounds arena. So it's a bit like the Stoneguard Castle area. It's the same size and the buildings are a little bit different, I think. And there are 5 node points and it's going to be a 24 versus 24 battle, which will last maximum 15 minutes or until one team gets maximum score. You will select your role when you queue, but there will be some basic limitations, like you can't select tank if you don't have a sword and shield. Ranked will arrive about 1 month later, and there is a 6,000 combat power entry requirement. This will also come with a new PvP currency and a new shop, allowing you to get new gear, runes, artifacts, things like that. The alliance changes, again, coming September the 3rd. There'll be just 2 guilds in an alliance, and they will remove the server transfer cooldown at this date so you can change server before the new update drops. They have no plans for like server merges right now. And they will be making some changes to Castle Siege to allow more ways into the inner courtyard, less bottlenecks. And they will be adding a new open world PvP feature. So this will bring like stones in Abyss dungeons that guilds can fight over. You will basically go there and you'll declare war on it and you'll try and contest it. This will create more instant PvP fights. If you do claim a stone, you can protect it by spending resources for a limited time, and then once that time's up, any guild can come along and declare a fight on it, and it will just happen immediately. There's no waiting for an in-game schedule like with Boonstones and Riftstones. They will be adding some fun new additions like PvP skills and stone owner benefits. Finally, some more info. We'll be getting weekly articles and a Ion Silesium video on September the 9th with Godspeed. So that's about it. Again, most important takeaway, you will only be able to convert a limited quantity to the new versions of materials. There'll be new trait resonance stones, new polished crystals, and after you've reached this limited conversion rate, you can simply only exchange it for Solent. So hoarding will not nearly be as rewarded as in the past. They also did say progression will be a bit more like tier 1 with regards to growth stones. Since we are not rewarded from hoarding, we won't be able to get such a big boost ahead with regards to creating a ton of growth stones. It will take time as we have to work on getting the new polished crystals to create them. This means it will be more time gated, as it were, to get these growth stones, but that also means it will be less of a grind. So it won't take as long and it won't take as much effort to get all the growth stones you need for your gear. Since you will need like half as much, but you will have to start from scratch grinding your polished crystals. Lastly, they released a blog behind the scenes with housing. So just a few questions here. You will progress from a basement dweller to an elite. The housing will allow players to showcase their creativity and personal taste. You can see a picture here of a balcony. What was their goal for designing the housing? They want it to feel naturally integrated with the overall world. They want it to be accessible and usable, and aimed to foster player-to-player communication. They wanted the visuals to help make a space where players actually want to stay in. Here's another example of what it might look like. It is designed to be accessible and easy to enjoy through the extra codex system. They will continue updating the housing system to become a space where players can truly express themselves. And yeah, it does look pretty cool here. Again, there will be a whole crafting ecosystem with regards to furniture, gathering materials, processing those materials, even getting great successes on crafting and then be able to sell those certain items. So you can earn Lucent even if you don't really care about creating your own house. That's it for now. A special thank you to all the channel members for your added support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys around.